This is a
Good time, Charlie?
production.
On your marks, get set, play.
I love that.
Good favor.
That I really like.
That is delicious.
Oh man, it's that time of year, y'all. And you can ask my co-host here. I've been very excited about this one. I've just been antsy about it too, because I knew it was coming sooner than later. So when it started getting near and announcements started being made and so forth, that's when I was really like, okay, it's about that time for us to make this show. This is, of course, as you know, because you downloaded it or you're streaming it. It's Crimpet's. Yeah, it's a Great British Bake Off podcast. It's with Nick Jew.
Hi.
It's with Ant.
Hello.
And me, your host, Taylor 713. We out here. This is series 14, episode 1 of the Great British Bake Off. And of course, episode 1, it's Cake Week. And I went and double checked that. And I went and looked back through the years. It's almost always Cake Week. But there have been some times where cake does not set it off. So that was kind of interesting to me. We have a new host this year. We're going to get into that in a little bit. But y'all, that Breadfather bit
Was great.
was great.
It was great.
I was like, oh, this is too good. Especially
The
when Prue comes
puns.
pop out.
Oh my God, the puns
Yeah,
were
there's-
punning Prue. Like, please give it to me.
Did y'all say my name? No. It was too good. It was such a delight. And I don't know, like I said, I just had such a good time with it. And I was super excited to get this, like I said, to get the show started. I paid for the dang VPN, y'all, so I can watch it early. So I'll be dedicated to the craft. Can't help myself. I'm probably going to watch tonight's episode tonight.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. That's just when it goes down.
Damn.
And for the record, if y'all ever wonder, it comes on at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the States on Tuesday. So you can watch it at a really good hour.
on Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah. So you are so inclined. Of course, each and every week, you know what I'm saying? Each and every week as we record this show, man, we have a new segment that I did not prep the music for, but trust me, you'll hear it. And that is called, of course, Bakers Make the World Go Round. Bakers make the world go round. So a little news segment. We read you some things, you know what I'm saying? We pull them and so forth. This week, I pulled several items. Okay, so one thing you got, it's in the show notes right now, is talking about the contestants. You know what I'm saying? It's a good list of everybody on the show, names and dates and all that good stuff. But also, I'm going to rattle those off to you here in a bit. So to get that, just trust me, that was in the show notes. But this other one, I wanted to find out more about the new host, Allison Hammond. And so I went and looked up, and this article I pulled, and I want y'all to know, this is the most clickbaity ass article title ever.
Oh, great.
And I know they did this to make people click it, but then I wonder if people read it. So the title of this article is Great British Baking Show host Prue Leith reveals how she feels about Allison Hammond joining the show. Prue Leith doesn't show up in this article into is it the last paragraph?
Wow.
It might be. Yeah, it's not quite the last paragraph, but it is 2 up from the last paragraph.
And then she
Let's
just
go over.
Oh.
And yeah, well, we'll get there. You know what I'm saying? We'll rattle through this. And this is Adriana Friedman at Good Housekeeping. The Great British Baking Show's new season is officially on Netflix, and a lot of changes are already afoot amid a new group of challengers ready to compete. The show is also planning on nixing the controversial National Themes Week from its roster. Y'all know, you knew what it was got to be. That had to go. But perhaps the most significant change in the tent, the fact that folks will meet a new co-host this time around. In December 2022, fans of the competition series learned that Matt Lucas planned to exit after co-hosting alongside with Noel Fielding since 2020. He made the announcement on Twitter, leaving many to wonder who would take over his role. Well, much to everyone's surprise, the Great British Bake Off announced in August that comedian and media personality Alison Hammond will become the next co-host, working alongside Noel and judges Paul Hollywood and Prue Leith to search for the most talented amateur baker in the UK. But ahead of the show's September 29th premiere, viewers may want to know a little bit more about the woman stepping into Matt's shoes. Luckily, we have some clues about her that will certainly delight anyone prepping to watch to their heart's content. All right, so let's rattle off some stuff about Alison Hammond. Born and raised in Birmingham, England, Alison got her first taste of fame in 2022. She appeared on season 3 of the UK version of Big Brother, where she eventually got evicted after more than 2 weeks of being on the show. Despite not making it all the way to the end of this, she spoke about how that time in her life changed the direction of her career. It definitely changed my life, she told Woman's Own in 2013. I made some lovely friends on Big Brother, and it changed my career path. I'm very grateful for that, as I love what I'm doing at the moment. After appearing on reality TV, Alison eventually made her way onto daytime television. She has been a host of the British show This Morning for the last 2 decades, interviewing a plethora of celebrities and reporting on important news coverage worldwide. It's one notably viral moment. She found herself swooning with Bridgerton star Jonathan Bailey when he came to promote season 2 of the Netflix drama. You can catch it below, and we recommend you wait for to see their own air reaction. Fair enough. There we go. You got a little video in there. Outside of television, Alison is also an accomplished author. After 20 years of being in the hosting business, she published a memoir in July 2022 titled You've Got to Laugh, Stories from a Life Lived to the Full, that documented her life and career. She also published a children's book called Black in Time, which she co-wrote with E.L. Nori and debuted in June 2022. Aside from a busy work schedule, Alison is also the mother of her son, Aiden, who she shares with her ex-husband, Noureddin Bouffaid. I don't know how to pronounce that. My apologies. She often tries to keep her personal life offline, but in April 2022, she publicly paid tribute to Aiden as she celebrated his birthday with a video collage on Instagram. My baby is growing up so fast, she mostly wrote. Every day I pray for him, and he will always be the apple of my eye. My Aiden, my last real love. Aww. While we'll have to wait until the season premiere to see how Alison will fare on the Great British Baking Show, you know it is Bake Off, her co-stars seem excited by the prospect of having her alongside them. Although Prue did mention one hope she has about the latest installment now that there's another female in the group. I never get the joke, she explained on the Dish podcast. All the stuff about innuendo and things, I feel like I'm really glad Alison is coming because at least she's a woman and she'll be a little more sensible. Okay, so forgive me. Prue's quotes didn't even show up until the second to last paragraph. And in fact, there's only one sentence after this. Well, we can't wait. So the last paragraph was where Prue, who they gave the title of this article to, just
Crazy.
Point out to you that was clickbait. That was some clickbaity ass clickbait, y'all. It's a whole lot to do, man. It's 12 full bakers in this tent right now, so let's get to it. Good
I was wondering
gracious.
where I knew her from, but I guess
She
it just
did,
must be
Drag Race over there.
Yes, thank you. I was like, why do I know her? I fucking love her. FYI.
Yeah.
Please stay.
Yeah. So
Okay, so
for real.
before we get started, I wanted to see if I got your boo right this year, T. Do you have a boo
right.
this year?
I don't know if I have a boo per se, but there is a cutie amongst them. So go on.
Dana?
Correct.
I knew it.
Also
Man,
same. Also same. Same.
So,
Okay, let's get this. I guess it's not necessarily superficial stuff out the way, but like, what's her name? Tasha is. She had the bluest eyes I've ever seen in my life.
How old
White
is
Walker
she?
shit
27.
I'll get. Don't worry, I got a whole list.
okay.
I'll get you there.
I was like, because she looked real young to me. Oh, 27, I see. I opened the Google Doc.
All right. In the 10th this series, I got you a whole list of bakers. Let me run through them all. Abby Lawson. I called her the series gimmick baker because every series you got to have somebody doing some wild shit, and her gimmick is she forages for food.
I called her. I named her the Crunchy Baker because we always have somebody, gluten free or something like that.
That's the gimmick. It's either gluten free or vegan or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Her gimmick, she's a forager, and I respect it. She's 27 years old. She's a delivery driver from Cumbria who likes to grow her own veg. She first found inspiration from Victoria era baking, bringing a nod to nature to her baking with a magical feel to her food as well. She forages for seasonal ingredients, but stops short at the garden hedge. Basically, she's just looking at her neck of the woods. She ain't out there, in the forest. Amos Lilly, 43 years old, is a film and theater enthusiast and a theme park lover from North London who manages a deli/grocery store. His baking style is so colorful, you'll need sunglasses watching him on telly.
I knew Amos was my people.
Yeah.
I just knew it.
He did have a vibe about him, made me say,
I fucking knew it.
You like theater. Christy Sharp, 33-year-old mother of 4. Both those things together fuck my head up. 33 with 4 kids. A personal assistant from East London and a mum of 4. Her Israeli heritage and her husband's Jamaican roots inspire her flavors that'll make your taste buds roar. I can't wait to see her kids. I thought I did, but I'm like, now I'm like, did I?
That Jamaican don't match up.
Fair enough. Thank you. I'm like, maybe I just glanced over it.
There are white Jamaicans.
Informer.
You're going to be disrespecting my man Dan, so stop it. Dan Cazador is a 42-year-old from Cheshire, as in the cat, a father who works as a resource planner in civil engineering. He's passionate about patisserie, and hopes his pies leave Paul and Prue cheering. Dana Conway, 25-year-old database administrator from Essex, isn't it? Who's started cooking at 16 to fill a gap in her family's Indian culinary repertoire, but ended up becoming the family cake maker. She likes to make celebration cakes. She also has a cockapoo named Gracie, who licks up all the messes she makes. Josh Smalley, 27-year-old, is a postdoctoral research associate from Leicestershire, that's a word, who is a chemist by trade, but he's a longtime rugby player. He's also who brings his scientific precision to baking, so it's unlikely he'll need first aid. Right on. Keith Barron, at 60, this season's eldest baker, is a chartered accountant from Hampshire who took his mother's love of traditional dishes from Malta to build his baking chops. He's a bake-off superfan with a fondness for apple pies. He's confident making bread with a fine crumb structure for Paul to analyze. Maddie Edgell, 28 years old, is from Cambridgeshire. Y'all these shires they got in England? Far too many. And teaches science and PE. He's a big fan of citrus and nut flavors and will demand 20 press-ups from those who disagree. Press-ups or push-ups for you, my American listeners.
I learned that on Naked Attraction.
That's what's up.
Isn't it?
Nikki Lacey B, 52-year-old, is a retired flight attendant from the West Midlands. She volunteers as for a pet therapy charity. She describes her baking as like comfy old slippers and hopes her pastries gain popularity. Rowan Claughton, at 21, he's the youngest baker in the tent this series. Rowan is an English lit student from West Yorkshire, another shire, with a motto of go big or go home. He makes cakes on such a grand scale that the bake-off tent may need a bigger dome. Y'all got to forgive me this pronunciation. I'm going to do my best. Saku Chandrasekhara, and I hope I got that. My apologies if it don't sound right, was born in Sri Lanka before moving to the UK in 2003. He's an intelligence analyst from Herefordshire, another shire, who didn't learn how to cook until she was 18. So all her baking is self-taught. Her ingredients come from her vegetable patch as they taste better than the stuff she bought. Dig it. Last up, Tasha Stone, a former ski instructor, is a participation officer from Bristol who grew up cooking with her mother and grandmother. She was encouraged to take up baking as a hobby by a teacher. She says she bakes without fear. That's easy, but that's easier said than done in intent, especially with Paul and Prunier. Now I know y'all motherfuckers is wondering because I was wondering too. What is a participation officer?
Yes,
I
please.
I literally went and had to go pull. There's a participation. If you need a job right now, there's a participation officer job role available in this town. And here's what they say this role is. Purpose of the role: every year, Me Too Club matches over 100 children who have additional needs or disabilities with committed and passionate volunteers to help them attend and take part in mainstream leisure activities. We tackle the impact of exclusion and social isolation experienced by children and teenagers and help build their confidence, self-esteem, and independence. Something something I've always noticed that they don't point out on the show is, and they just kind of let it exist, is that if someone has a disability of any sort, it just exists. I didn't know Bryony was missing fingers for a long time into that series because they don't point it out. In this case, Tasha has a is that called a cochlear implant? Is that what that is?
I believe so.
Yeah. So she clearly has some kind of hearing situation, and the fact that she's going to try to help other kids who might have disabilities is pretty dope to me. So,
And they just like introduced the interpreter. They didn't say who the interpreter was for. They were just like, got another person in the tent, and I love it. Like, normalize it.
Yeah.
People can't hear. It happens.
Exactly. So I don't know. I was just like, that's all of that is what got me so hyped this season. I was just like, I was kind of like, when I first saw the pictures of these people, I was like, I don't know if I like any of y'all. But then as soon as I started watching, they had that fun introduction, and then they introduced these people, and then they talk about my man doing the BSL. It's British Sign Language, y'all. I know it's ASL where we are, but BSL where they are. And I was just like, this is a delight. As always, Bake Off just come through and do, man. And I'm excited. Those are your 12 bakers in the tent. Any discussion? Anything I want to say about these guys?
Well, it was funny when I guess more than one per like preview picture done for the cast, because the first one Christy looked like a Kardashian. Then I went to another one and she doesn't look regular.
Man, I wonder if they I wonder if they was like, dial that back.
It seriously did look like they said something. She definitely looked like she was Jamaican that first picture. Then the second one, she was just regular.
Not Rachel Dolezal in reverse.
I was about to say, she out here black fishing. Don't do that. Well, I mean, but she is Israeli, at least part Israeli. And they do become a kind of common. They have a tan to them. So Israeli. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying people who moved to Israel after, you know what I'm saying, whatever.
You're talking about
still.
like Jesus.
Pretty much, you know what I'm saying? And not the one at your church.
Right.
Y'all know what it is.
Neither one of y'all church is probably right about what he looked like, to be honest. If we keeping it a bean, but I'm not
For
on
real,
to preach today.
Oh my gosh. Let's get to it, y'all. The signature cake this week. Well, for cake week, the signature is a vertical layer cake, which is basically a Swiss roll standing up on its side, y'all.
Let's go.
2 hours to complete. Let's rattle through the bakers right quick. Rowan's goal is to make a chocolate and raspberry vertical wedding cake. Dark chocolate sponge, raspberry, Swiss buttercream. Don't worry, we'll get to what Swiss buttercream. Well, don't worry, I'll get you there. Nikki, she went with a Saint Clement's vertical cake. Blood orange Swiss roll filled with lemon curd, orange, and rosemary syrup. Dan, rhubarb and custard vertical cake. Layer cake, forgive me. Fresh rhubarb compote, creme patissier, and cream cheese buttercream. Amos went for a Jaffa cake inspired blood orange and dark chocolate vertical cake. Oh man, you know what? That now that bounces back in my head makes a little more sense. I feel a little better now. Tasha, black sesame, Genoese, sponge, and yuzu. What made hers weird is most people don't try to make a Swiss roll with Genoese. Genoise. You over here got me pronouncing like the English. Christy went with a lemon meringue vertical cake made with 3 different types of lemon. Saka went with her husband, Chaminda's, I don't know how to pronounce my man's name, favorite cream cheese icing filled with a blueberry buttercream. Paul was out here giving hugs, which I don't know if I've seen him do before.
I think only like one other time.
That was so sweet. And I didn't know what to do
He
with
gave her
that.
such a good hug. He just grabbed her up real good.
He did it last year. We did it on the American version to Susan.
Damn, the
Word
American
up.
version. Why for a minute I was like, what American Damn.
How soon we forget?
Wow. It's been a rough couple of months, listener.
Okay.
For real.
I've lived some life since then.
I want y'all to know we fully reviewed that whole series. It's available right
We
now
sure
for you to listen to.
Sure did. Sure did.
Keith up next. He went with his dad's chocolate orange vertical layer cake. Chocolate orange ganache filled with whipped cream flavor with orange liqueur. He told a little story about how his dad was on starvation rations during WW2. Why did I say it like that? It's beyond me, but that's what came out of my mouth, y'all. And because of that, after his dad got home, his dad was kind of like, I'm never starving again. And goes hard on the treats. He said he said his dad started getting the Christmas treats probably around October. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm.
Abby is next up. Foraged poppy seed is what she called her cake. Lemon and black currant are the flavor profile. Maddie went with tiramisu, coffee, and mascarpone cream filling covered with vanilla buttercream. Dana went with salted caramel latte, salted caramel buttercream filled coffee Swiss roll sponge. Clearly, I did not get that other E in coffee in my notes. Josh. Tropical vertical cake, passion fruit curd with coconut buttercream. So those all sound tasty. Y'all, let's get to it. The judging. Rowan, perfect example of a vertical cake. Paul likes it, thinks it's delicate. The flavors are delicate, and the buttercream is terrific. For Josh, the colors work, vibrant, but the sponges were overbaked. But the flavor was sensational. This is something I noticed with this first round. They are such gentle judgers on this first episode, because I know where this goes and I know how hard they get. Let's say around the week before quarterfinals. It's like, motherfucker, how dare you bring me anything short of perfection? And it's fun to see.
It's like that for me, like on most reality competition shows, like RuPaul's Drag Race, for example. Like when they getting down to the nitty gritty, they're like, I know you didn't come on this runway with them tights showing like that. This is RuPaul's fucking Drag Race. Like, what are you doing?
Fair. Amos, layers uneven. The chocolate, unfortunately, dominates. Not a lot of orange. Also, he tried to make this chocolate drips, and it just looked like
raspberry drips,
boogers, bird shit. I don't know what you want to say. It did not look good. It's very much a disappointment. Christy looks lovely, good height, beautiful. I don't know what word I was trying to type there. Prue thinks it's delicious. Paul wanted more of a punch of flavor in the punch in the mouth of flavor. Nikki looks like a barrel.
Yeah.
Don't think it's terrible. The layers are good and the flavor is subtle but delicious. Abby, Prue likes the informal cornucopia decoration. Nice vertical stripes, delicious flavors come through, well balanced. Dana, a bit messy, piping not good, pretty good stripes, flavor is lovely. Saku, a bit wobbly, good stripes, love the flavor, and achievement to get flavors like that out of blueberries. So what she did was she made a blueberry
compote
reduction. Was it a compote?
Well, yeah, you could just say it was reduction, which I was just speaking to my partner about earlier, like how I don't like blueberries, but I like the flavor of blueberries.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like blueberries.
I don't like the texture of blueberries.
Yeah, like I couldn't eat a fresh blueberry. Like if you send a pipe down and like, hey, you finish this, I'm gonna break your knuckles. My knuckles are gonna be hurting. Because
I eat blueberries every day almost. And it wasn't until recently that I was like, oh, I actually like these if they're sweet. Oh. And I think the problem is that typically we just don't get good blueberries. And it's so noticeable when you put a blueberry in your mouth that is like perfectly ripe. I'm like, oh, this is hitting. All these years I've been eating nasty blueberries.
I know the trick though. Like when you washing your blueberries, the ones that float aren't ready, and the ones that go to the sink to the bottom are. Like
probably just full of sugar and they sink. Mm-hmm. Makes perfect sense. Well done. Maddie, strong Coffee level perfect, very nice. Dan, I love how they describe it. It's just the cutest little cake. Beautiful stripes, beautiful cake. Looked like a circus scent. I liked it. This is a little rhubarb joint. Keith looks so dramatic. The cream is so light against the density of the cake, and the orange liqueur is absolutely delicious. Who expected this man, this very old man, not very old, but this old man to come through with this delicate whipped cream, you know what I'm saying, vibe up against that? I mean, it's like, I like to be shocked, and this motherfucker shocked the shit out.
He laid that cream in there. He ain't hold back. He pumped that that bad boy. But
it looks ugly. The outside looked hella ugly to me. I'm like, they didn't have nothing to say about this.
It was super Cleveland Brown. So I was just like, man, that looked like the shit that I would see around these neck of the woods.
That's probably why I thought it was ugly.
Because it's okay.
I always think like
no, I just mean because I'm not like a Browns person. Those colors don't go together like that for me.
I can't talk shit about Dallas this year. They too good. So I'm asked out. Sorry.
You can. I don't care about them like that.
All the way back, but you got enough to put into it. That's just me putting some respect on your name. Take that.
I appreciate it. But
during the
we just talking. We don't go together. we just talk.
During the season, like there's always like one or two older bakers, and they always got like the knowledge behind it. Like some they rarely go all the way far, but like them first 6 episodes, they be crushing.
It's usually a woman too.
Yes.
Yeah, as it turns out, if I went back and read it again, he's a super fan. He be studying his arts.
Yeah, he even said I waited 7 years to get my so I can get my decorating right.
Yeah. So I got we gonna put him up there. Tasha, did you sit on it?
It was flat.
Certainly got the stripes. Too much filling the cake. Very unusual and rather delicious. Less filling and more sponge would have been brilliant. Looks terrible, but tastes good. That was your signature. That was your very first signature of Series 14, and that's just what it is, people. I think Dan really did come out on top of that one, but like I said, Keith was out here like the South got something to say. It has to be respected. So I was quite happy with those results. Our technical challenge was so fun. Again, like I said, this whole episode got me. I'm right back in it, y'all. This it, which is why I was so hyped to write. I started writing notes right then and there. Again, it was over for you. I was in it. The technical challenge set by Paul was to make the GBBO chocolate cake. That cake you see at the beginning of every episode of Great British Bake Off with the raspberries on there, that I would have never noticed a raspberry was missing. And I have watched almost every series of this show. So I've never noticed that raspberry mission, but I'm not looking for it. Apparently that's the thing in England. They know.
And I don't like skip the intro either. I want this my song. I need to let it play.
For sure. They're given 2 hours to complete this. 2 layers, chocolate sponge covered and filled with chocolate ganache and topped with raspberries. That's the brief. Let's see what they did. Also, I love writing the technical notes because it's so easy. All I got to do is tell you the brief and then tell you how they judged it. It's the easiest notes I write. Judging, Nikki, no shine, messy, nice flavor. Dan, sharpness across top, as in like he laid them berries out there like they need. So the ganache has a nice shine, really good chocolate fudge cake. Rowan, roan colored ganache, too milky, messy, but nicely made. Saku, a really beautiful cake. Christy, you can see the crease. Shouldn't look like 2 cakes. The ganache inside is really liquidy. Keith, a bit messy, but not bad because of the nice shine. Nice sponge. Abby, ganache is nearly there. Beautifully neat, and it does have a shine to it. It's a beautiful cake. Maddie, color is right, but a bit matte. Filling, again, too liquidy. Tasha can see it's 2 cakes stacked. Filling inside is liquid. That's 3 liquid fillings. I want y'all to know that. Amos likes the neatness of it. Very clean. Sides absolutely straight. Good amount of filling that is set. So I'm saying that's a solid cake from Amos. Josh, a little matte, not quite set, filling. Great taste though. Dana's doesn't look smooth, not light enough, and the sponge is too dense. From what they said and then what they did, I don't know if I agree with this ranking. But let's rattle through it. In 12th place was Dana. They said the texture was just too dense. And I'm like, I guess.
It was hella runny ganache,
Yeah.
but she laughs. Liquid inside cakes, but she laughs. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Number 11, Tasha. That rim of chocolate going around the middle. It's a Paul Hollywood quote if ever there were one.
Mm-hmm.
Number 10, Nikki. Nice cake, but the color's just not right. Of course, we got this is a point where they got so many bakers in the tent. Not everybody gonna get some shine. So number 9 was Rowan. Number 8 was Josh. Number 7 was Maddie. Number 6 was Christy. Number 5 was Saku. Number 4 was Keith. Number 3 was Abby. Number 2, Amos. Nice and shiny cake is right. Ganache is set. No complaints.
Number 2, second place in the technical challenge goes to Amos.
I thought about you, so like I'm like, oh, I know Nick gonna have something to say about this.
I just want to
know me.
I just like said, exactly. Just want to point it out to you. No complaints. Number 1, Dan, a great looking cake. I would argue that I feel like that's one of the ones they probably coin flipped on. It was like these two is perfect, and when they this good, I'm sorry, we just gotta. It is what it is. That's 1 and 2, and it's probably just so close that they was just like they had to let it walk.
But again, Amos, very good in the technical challenge, and in my opinion, not the worst signature, not the worst.
It is only because, again, I reflect back and I'm like, it looks like bird shit on this cake.
Yeah, but his wasn't the ugliest cake. I thought Tasha cake was ugly as fuck. Homeboy with the Cleveland brown cake, that shit wasn't decorated good. The first cake they showed, it was a big ass hunk of icing missing out the front of it. Like, come on now.
You right. Our showstopper this week, Nick Jew, were you showstopped this week?
I fucking was.
Excellent. Shaped and decorated animal sculpture with 4 hours to complete. This shit right here, y'all. It was everything Bake Off is about.
That motherfucking turtle.
Oh my God.
Oh, the little happy cow, the robin. Oh my God. I was getting my life. Every one of them, like, yes.
Yeah. And even the ones who kind of came a little like, was like fun in an interesting way. You know what I'm saying? So,
yes.
Let's go through it. Keith is up top here. He was making Maisie the poodle. He called it his stepdog, which made me laugh so hard because that clear the dog came with his lady and he just accepted it. It's a lemon and orange sponge filled with orange buttercream and a charcoal gray colored orange buttercream coat.
I have that Steel Magnolias quote right here, like with the groom's cake, the bleeding armadillo cake with gray icing. She was like, I can't even begin to think how you make gray icing.
Hey, it happened twice in this very episode.
Right?
So. Dana was going with Amazing Gracie. It's a cake. It's a banana cake filled with cinnamon crumble and a peanut butter cream. Dan was making his dog Bruno. It's a chocolate sponge filled with chocolate ganache and covered in chocolate French buttercream. He was like, man, all right, I just made this ganache. I feel like I'm cheating. Like, buddy, you came through with you didn't know what the tech was going to be. They just made you that much better a baker. Amos was going for an orca on a wave cake. It's a caramel sponge filled with an apple buttercream. Those things sound so good together. And I don't like caramel apples, but I feel like in a cake form, yeah, there's something brilliant about the way that sounds.
You don't even like the suckers?
No, I actually hate those because they don't taste like apple.
Just like apple.
Yeah, because you can't get a real apple
it tastes like apple candy. Yeah. And apple candy don't taste nothing like an apple. And it's like, don't bring them two together.
They're like grape or watermelon. They cannot quite get that correct for candy.
For sure. Christy was making a raspberry ripple duck cake. Raspberry sponge made with fresh and frozen raspberry. A raspberry sponge filled with a raspberry and amaretto jam. White chocolate ganache decorated to look like a mallard. I believe they pronounce it Mallard. And I was just like, England, y'all gotta stop. Maybe you gotta stop. Nikki made Norman the beaver.
Oh my God, Norman.
In parentheses, I wrote, the innuendo is 1, hyper Gen X, and 2, far too much. Far too much.
The Prue talking about the beaver, it was a lie. I could, woo.
Yeah.
Is that one of those things that, like, you know, is maybe more prevalent in UK than here?
No, I feel like if you came up watching Revenge of the Nerds,
Porky's,
that kind of comedy, Porky's, that's where the beaver comedy comes from. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Or it's just like it's like if somebody called Nick Ebony, then we know what kind of entertainment they're going through.
Oh gosh.
Chocolate and rum sponge filled with vanilla buttercream and creme de cassis, which is a sweet, dark red liqueur made from black currants. Tasha was making a robin cake covered in Italian meringue buttercream. If you're new around here or just new to Bake Off, let me get you right. An Italian meringue buttercream is made by whipping egg whites with sugar syrup that has been heated to 240 degrees Fahrenheit and softened butter. That's how you get Italian meringue buttercream. The sponge is a tahini sponge filled with dark chocolate and ginger buttercream. Rowan with a cosmopolitan lobster cake. My man really bangs with the cosmopolitan. Fuck with it. Made with Valencia orange sponge filled with a lime curd and cherry coulis. Again, if y'all new here, coulis is a thick sauce made from pureed and strained fruit or veg. Saku made tikati, which in Sri Lankan is little. And also, I think she said it's her husband and son's middle names. It's kind of dope. She made the little turtle cake, made with orange and poppy seed sponge filled with orange buttercream. Abby went with Herbert the Herdwick sheep cake, made with ginger sponge filled with salted caramel, Italian meringue buttercream, rhubarb jam, and hazelnut brittle covered in black sesame buttercream. We just went over the Italian meringue, so you know what that is. Josh went with Mum's Highland cow cake made with coffee. It was so good. It was so good. Cute.
So good.
Coffee date and walnut sponge filled with maple syrup caramel and a cream cheese icing. What you about saying?
I said that cow looked like it date black man. Like it had the little
got the haircut.
The hair over the side.
She looked like Mooby's girlfriend.
Oh my God. Clerks. Maddie made Marty the Cocker Spaniel cake. Lemon sponge filled with lemon, curd, fresh raspberries, under what's supposed to be a black coat of Swiss meringue buttercream, but he could not get the buttercream to dye black. And was like, I'm not going to waste the time. We're going to call it gray. What's the difference between Swiss and Italian buttercream? One might wonder, well, instead of using heated sugar syrup to cook the egg whites, you cook the egg whites and sugar, then whip them into a thick meringue, and then add your butter. That's the Swiss method of buttercream, of meringue buttercream. There you go. I guess the Swiss meringue method. Judging. Christy is up top, beautifully conceived. Love the
that
color.
mallard was perfection. It looked like a phone.
I feel like you could have put that out in the lake and shot some ducks with that bitch. It looked like it looked just like a. Yeah, it looked like the ones they use. What do they call the fake ducks that you use to hunt with? Whatever. It looked like that.
I thought it was called skeet shooting.
It was great. No, skeet shooting when they pull the clay pigeons.
Yes.
Yeah, no. When you actually out there hunting ducks, they put decoys. Yeah. It was also sitting on top of a beautiful Isomalt River. The duck is swimming on. Lovely. Gorgeous. Raspberry, really tart, so it cuts through the sweetness of the white chocolate. Keith's up next. A little rough and ready.
This was delicious. Ugly as hell. The dog head looked like it was coming off the body. It was so ugly.
It looked very cartoonish, and I like how he was like, what did he say? She looks so excited, doesn't she? And they do a close with the dog, and it has just the most like come on,
because he knew it looked crazy.
Yeah. Delicious, not too sweet, and full of flavor. Maddie looks like it's been run over.
This dog has seen better days.
but
Needed a
but
grooming.
but a really nice cake and good flavor. What made me laugh is like Prue was like, I've never seen a gray whatever kind of dog this
He's
is.
like,
Cocker
neither have I.
spaniel.
And Matt was like, yeah, neither have I. And they all just started laughing because they knew what it was. Rowan's up next. Really impressive. Almost
Oh my God.
tutti fruity in its flavor as opposed to a specific flavor, but it's very tasty. This motherfucker put a lobster in a lobster trap. The vibes, y'all. It was so good.
Yeah, it was so good. It looked great. Like it was like a toy or something.
Yeah, really well done. Saku, astonishing to look at. Beautiful. It could be turtle shell.
Right.
When you get all that, you're just like, come on, girl, come on. And then it is stodgy, meaning overly dense, if y'all wondered. Overbaked, quite dramatically. Which means, look, overbaked just means burnt, right?
Yes. Put a pin there.
Style over substance. That's just what it is. Dan, totally adorable.
This fucking dog. Is that who this is with the little thing hanging in the mouth?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was so good.
Buttercream on the outside goes beautifully with the chocolate sponge. Very Moorish and intense. Moorish
now, why
meaning
Paul had to hack into the head though.
I mean,
he was going in this episode. Like,
it was a very realistic looking dog, and he was like, right in the middle of it.
Not today, dog.
Yes,
Josh,
Moorish.
I love that turn of phrase.
Me too.
You just want to eat some more of it. So yeah, word up. Josh, charming. Coffee and date work well together. A bit too much filling. Dana, quite flat. Peanut dominant, and they don't taste any banana. And then my man threw her little tennis ball that she made, and I was like, is that cool or not cool that you did that, Paul? She kind of chuckled off, and I'm just like, I don't know, my dude. I feel like you're telling her to fetch, and it felt lightway disrespectful to me.
Or the dog to fetch.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he was telling the dog, but maybe he thought it was a real ball.
That was out of Rice Krispie, right?
Yeah, and covered that little green fondant.
And I seen from the beginning, like me and my girl. Okay, we were sitting on the couch watching it, and I was like, "Man, that's a lot of peanut butter." She's like, "Yeah, that's a lot of peanut butter." 450
grams. It was entirely too much peanut butter. That should have been about half a cup.
That should look like a whole jar of Skippy, buddy. she
right.
She used all the peanut butter she could. That shit was way too much.
Yeah, by a lot. Abby looks great. Rhubarb jam is excellent, and so is the cake. The sharpness from the rhubarb goes well with the ginger. The hazelnut with a bit of crunch all goes well together.
And it was cute. It was adorable.
Yeah. That's the one who made the little sheep, y'all. Amos, cake looks doughy as it's become compressed. Tough as old boots. I want y'all to know he basically made a big ass cake pop. Because he kept trying to get
that's what it looked like.
He kept trying to get the fondant to stick to it. And he's pressing on it with, like, honest to God, and if you saw Amos is a big old, you know what I'm saying, dude. So he's putting all this pressure on it to get the fondant to stick to the cake. And all he's doing is then compressing the cake. And I want you to know, if you ever been into a cake pop from your local Starbucks or whatever cake spot, that's what it looked like the inside of it. Mm-hmm. Probably tastes great. Not gonna lie to you, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying, but to one Paul Hollywood, tough as old boots is, man, wowzers.
He definitely John Coffee that bitch. He was like, I helped it, boss. And he kept on smushing it. It wasn't no Mr. Jangles.
Bone dry, stodgy, and overly sweet. Basically, everything that could have went wrong, and that's.
I also didn't think that it looked bad. I thought it looked good. There was like a little.
I thought it looked pretty cute. He could have finished his waves off had time been on the side. I think that would have been like, oh, there you go.
When he showed the drawing, I was like, "There's no way." And he did it. When he brought it out, I'm like, "Oh, he did that."
Yeah, exactly.
I do have to say, I don't know if it's because I don't know if they used the same crew as they did for the American version or like the short time in between. the editing was there like right from the jump.
Yeah,
Like this was like
it was crisp, man. Like I said, they came through, man. I want you to know, like over and over again. I cannot tell you how good this episode really was cracking, y'all. Nikki, tell us about your beaver. It's far too damn funny because Prue was so embarrassed. Nikki had to walk away for a minute. The
Paul
rest of the tent laughing.
Yeah.
Paul over there just like, bruh. And then Prue, the lady that she always is, I'm saying, Dame Prue out there is like, okay, let me try it again. Nikki, tell us about your showstopper. It's beautiful. It does. It look like a fun little cartoon character, you know what I'm saying? But the fondant was wild thick.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
When he got into it, I'm like, yeah, that is a lot of fondant. What's going on there? Overbaked. Again, overbaked means what?
Dry.
Burnt, dry, thick.
Texture, all wrong. Bone dry. Once again, style over substance. Want you to know that. Anyway, we'll get there.
So riddle me that then, because I so far count 2 people whose cake was nastier than Amos's, who came in second place in the technical challenge and also didn't have the worst signature. That help me understand.
I don't. It's like when. Okay, I'll save it for the end.
Yeah, Tasha.
Tasha, these are the words that comes out of my man Paul's mouth. That is incredible. Pipework, color. And then, of course, they cut into it and take a bite. Oh, my God, this tahini joint. Not too savory, not too sweet. Paul loves it. Tahini and chocolate balanced nicely. I cannot recall the baker last series who kept cooking with tahini. Was it Shabir or was it somebody else?
It was Shabir. It was not Shabir. Shabira was
the lady from the Philippines. But
some baker kept flipping tahini last time too.
Maybe it was Shabira because every time she did it, I was thinking it was like tzatziki, and I was like, that sounds gross.
And so when Prue was like, I don't know if I fuck with tahini, I'm like, you just forgot that you fucked with tahini.
You just had a whole season of tahini.
And I'm glad that once again you were like, got given tahini was like, oh shit, this hidden because it's hidden. Tahini, y'all, is a sesame seed paste. You know what I'm saying? It's like ground up sesame seeds, basically sesame seed butter, if you will. So it's just doing the thing. Tahini and chocolate balance nicely together. So Tasha came through with that one, man.
And
Tasha
it was so cute.
In.
Her piping was excellent.
Yeah, she did so well there. She really bounced back from 11th in technical.
She needed it too, because she had been stinking it at the first 2 challenges.
And that's kind of what shocked me. It's like, that means that's what you're able to do? That's what you could be doing? How did you manage that the first? Anyway. Your star baker this week is Dan. Yeah.
I don't feel like anyone did better than him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Who else?
I kind of thought I kind of like Rowan's work a lot, but I'm not going to split hairs about it.
So they didn't. Not that they didn't like it, but they weren't all the way up on his showstopper. They liked the look of it, but they didn't like that his flavors weren't precise enough.
Okay,
just a mix of fruity flavors as opposed to more like, I want this flavor to come through. I need this to taste and as of a cosmopolitan.
Don't they know that every Fruit Loop is the same flavor? Don't they know that? It's just a bowl of colors.
Unfortunately sent home this week, and you probably hear from us because we've been kind of leaning toward this episode. But I mean, come on, I think we all was like, come on, man, don't do that.
Yeah,
they sent home Amos, and I don't know.
Racial. It's racial. It's racial.
It. I could easily argue how Nikki went home.
Mm-hmm.
Dana, who I just told you, Mother Blue, which means she definitely probably gonna get sent home like soon.
Gone home, yeah.
Because she came in 12th and technical, had a jacked up showstopper pretty much, and did okay in the signature. So I feel like I could argue more for Dana and or Nikki than I could have for Amos. And just sucks, man. I really would have liked to see what he can do, and I will certainly try to hope he bakes on the internet somewhere so I can follow his work going forward.
Unfortunately, the tent got the best of him.
Yeah, for sure.
I try not to think every year that it's racial, but it always seems.
Oh, I do. Proudly.
It always seemed like the crossover ain't crossing over us in some way every year. But I still love the show. But goddamn, I was like, my partner was like, "Hey, who you want to win this year?" I'm like, "Amos, come on."
Right. We root for everybody black. Always.
Yeah, then Amos, not so famous.
And then when he cried and he
man, he
walked away during his interview.
That shit hurt, man. That shit hurt.
Like don't do that to me.
And then Emery, that's when Emery walked in the room. He was just like, "What? What's going on?" I was like, "Man, he's off the show." He was like, "He lost." And then Alexa, what does a reality TV mean? So yeah, it sucked.
Listen, I'll stop calling everything racial when things stop being racial.
I mean, it's right to these people. If we just solve it, we don't got to talk about it no more.
Right.
So, but until then, this shit was racial.
No, honestly, I just don't get it. I just rewatching the show. The first time I was like, "Oh, that sucks." I wanted to see more from him. He seemed like a cool person. And then the second rewatch, I was like, "Hold up. Wait a minute. He wasn't the worst."
It like I said, it is. I don't know. Like I said, his signature didn't look right, but tasted fine. But he did too good in technical. I feel like to get sent home. How you gonna come in second in technical and then still go home? I don't.
Nick asks,
what is the point of the technical challenge?
I was just about to say.
What is the point?
Nick asks every year, does the technical count? Because it's been so many times that it's just like somebody come in higher than somebody else, and then they fuck up again in the showstopper, and it's just like, oh man, that rhubarb wasn't rhubarb, and so you go home.
Yeah,
because to me, the highest marks should come from the technical challenge and the fucking showstopper. The signature to me is the one I kind of don't count. The signature is just like, if you need an arguing point against somebody or for someone, then you go, well, they had a really great signature, because they don't even score the signature challenge.
I mean, the point should go just like that, like 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
They should be weighted like that for sure, and they are not, and until they are. Because that's also the problem. They are not until they are.
Until they are.
And you're like, what the hell, man? Yeah. Which one is it? So
they be playing that shit hard and loose.
Yeah.
But, it's still an enjoyable show. But, I mean.
Absolutely.
You always judge harshly the things you love the most. Like,
yes. And also, I'm not having a bad time. And I also am not like, well, damn, the black dude is gone. I don't want to watch the show no more. But it definitely made me go, well, shit, the black dude is gone first.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I looked at it, I was like, why would they think that's okay? And I was like, oh, they got a black host now.
Right.
Black host. They have
so there will be a black person every week.
A black presence will be there the entire series. And I'm like, okay. Right. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I love her. I get it.
So far. I love her so far.
Her accent is so good. And it's just, I just love hearing it. She sounds like, you got season 3 in Ted Lasso yet?
Yes.
She sounds just like Keely's friend who worked at her PR firm with her.
Weeks. Left the lamb in the office.
Yeah. I mean, she sounds so much like it. I was just like, I wonder if that actress was basing her, you know what I'm saying, her
on
whatever,
her.
On this
Could
woman.
Be.
Yeah. So it's so dope, y'all. Next week is biscuits in the tent. So we will discuss that with you when we get there. Again, I'll probably watch it here in a few minutes because whatever. I simply can. Like I said, links in the show notes for your various articles. That way you can check out what we were reading on and checking out. a delight. What would be the question of the week in the poll, y'all?
All right, I guess favorite fall flavor?
Ooh.
Favorite fall flavor. Excellent. Paul, was the beaver jokes too much, or did you
I
laugh?
loved it because everybody laughed. It was that's why I thought it was like maybe it's more of a UK thing because the room is multi-generational and everybody laughed.
True.
No, I thought that shit was funny, but I'm also of the Gen X Beaver generation too. You gonna get me to chuckle off a Beaver joke all day?
I think it's just the very ideal of calling it a beaver.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Where? Who?
Right.
What?
Right. Yeah.
But that's it, people. This is a Crimpet's Day. We do it each week for the next dozen weeks. It'll be a delight. You'll have a good time. I know I'm gonna have a good time. Very excited about this. Now I can finally go listen to the podcast I actually listen to about this show. I'm not giving them no props like that because guess what? I truly feel like we make a better product, and I'm not joking. This my shit, y'all. This one right here. I feel we put in a lot of effort. We watch we be watching these episodes like 2-3 times.
Three times, yeah.
Usually come through. I watch it that when it comes out, I watch it all day. All that day I watch nothing else.
Yeah. Trust us, man. We study our arts. And plus ain't no other black folk doing what we do. So just trust me on it. Okay? It's dope. And we pretty good at what we do. I want you to know that. If you want to reach out to us, go for it. Podcast@staycrunchyMilk.com is the email address. The phone number is 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. Please give us a call. Also, you can comment on Spotify if you listen over that ways. It works just fine. What I discovered recently is that I have to go approve of those comments. So I probably need to go check and see if we have some comments that need my approval. Because trust me, I have not done that. So if indeed you have commented in the past and you're like, man, they ain't saying nothing about my comments, it's only because I didn't realize I need to approve them for them to appear. And I will promise you, if I see them, we'll read them off next week. Even if it's from like Big Brunch or American Bake Off.
Big Brunch.
So worry not. Every time somebody, because I follow a few of the bakers from there, and every time they pop in my feed, it's just like your boy, what's his name? Down in the general DMV area.
Antoine
constantly is out here doing things, y'all. Doing big things. So I feel like that's somebody that he just won an award for his service and stuff like that there. So truly a good follow on IG if you are a person who uses IG like that. So that is what is up. That is Nick Jew.
Justice for Jurgen.
That's the 216 is on. It's Tatum.
What's creme patissier?
I am the Internet 713. We will catch you next week. Thanks for kicking it with us.
Bye.
What happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.